Hey, what's going on guys, Miha here. So a bit more than 2 years ago, I created a video on why I quit Freelancer on Upwork, and you can watch it here. And in that video, I've basically explained my reasons on why I decided to start finding clients on my own and find different ways to find clients for my freelance career, as opposed to trying to find work on Freelancer on Upwork, because I found that at least my experience there was really bad, and I found it that I really don't want to work for such cheap prices and for clients that really don't value our work and just look for the next cheap option out there. And I really didn't want to be a commodity anymore. But since then I've read a lot of your comments, and I see that I'm not the only one, and that basically my situation really wasn't all that bad compared to some of the experiences other people have had out there. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't try working on Freelancer and Upwork. Probably there are a couple of people out there who are successful with it, they have good projects and they can make a living off of that. But for the vast majority of people out there, especially if you're just starting out, since the situation has gotten quite worse in the past years, I think that this video could be really helpful for you. In today's video, I wanted to cover that topic a bit more in depth. Also give you a couple of alternative ways that you can try to get projects online without relying on Freelancer and Upwork. I've been using these ways to get projects for the last couple of years, and it's working out really well for me. So not all hope is lost. You don't have to rely on Upwork or Freelancer to get your projects online. You can still work remotely, and you can get much better projects without without trying to sell yourself on Freelancer and Upwork. But first, let's take a look at a couple of problems with Freelancer and Upwork. So I've read a lot of comments from you guys, and I was really surprised to see that my situation really wasn't all that bad. Like, my only problem with Freelancer and Upwork was that there's a lot of competition, that people are looking for freelancers that want to do cheap work, and that basically freelancers compete with each other to work on the same project for the lowest price, and the clients just don't care about freelancers. But they just want the cheapest to work, want their work done on the cheap. And if they're not good, and if they're not happy with some freelancer, they just go to the other one. They just give the projects to the other guy who will do it even cheaper or stuff like that. So I see that as a real problem, because as a creative professional, or even as a programmer, or basically any kind of person that does work on a project-to-project basis, you're basically selling yourself short, and you're not getting paid what your work is actually worth, because you're commoditizing. Because clients on Freelancer and Upwork just look at the projects as a commodity. They're looking for the cheapest option to get what they need, and then they just move on. But from the comments that I've read, there were people saying that they got banned from Freelancer and Upwork. Their accounts got closed just basically without any good reason, and when they contacted support, they got no replies, or some really stupid replies that didn't really explain the reason why that happened. That never happened to me, but looks like it's happening. Also, I've read comments on people that actually didn't get paid for the work that they did, which I think is really, really bad, because Freelancer and Upwork, because portals like this should be like an escrow service that really helps you avoid those kind of problems. But it looks like that some people didn't get paid. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make any money on Freelancer and Upwork. It's completely possible. And I think, and there certainly are some people that are making a living up there, but for the vast majority of freelancers out there, the experience is not good. And if you really think about it, if you want to make a good living, basically your bills, you have to pay for your bills, for your rent, for your kids if you have them, or for your family, you have to support them. And if you want to do that with your freelance work, is it really a good idea to go to places like Freelancer and Upwork where your work is commoditized and get paid a lot less for your projects than you would if you had a client that would actually value your work and need your work and work with you long term? I mean, think about it. It's not a really good idea to do that. So I was really surprised about the bad experiences that people had, and I was also relieved that I'm not the only one that had bad experiences on Freelancer and Upwork. So what's the situation like 2 years later? It's actually gotten a lot worse. There is a bit more demand for work on these portals, like more projects are getting listed there, but also a lot of more freelancers are up there. So there's like this really huge amount of competition, and basically the prices have gotten even cheaper. Which to my surprise, because if you look at the prices in most modern countries, the rent is going up, the groceries, the food, the bills, everything is getting more expensive, and projects on Freelancer and Upwork are getting cheaper. So I really don't see any sense in putting yourself in a situation when you will be working, even when you will get paid even cheaper for your projects than you did before. So I think it's really time for people to start considering getting projects elsewhere, finding clients on their own online, putting some effort in it and in their marketing skills, and trying to find projects and basically clients, and building greater long-term lasting, greater business relationships that last for a bit longer than just one gig, and then the client moves on to the next freelancer without even basically Freelancer and Upwork don't even allow you to stay in touch with the previous client because you can't get their email, and they don't allow people and clients and freelancers to get in touch outside of Freelancer and Upwork, which I think is really a really bad move for them, because they basically destroy the opportunity for freelancers to keep in touch with their clients and build great business relationships, or basically work for them a bit long term. So the thing is that you don't have to give up. There are a lot of other ways that you can find clients online. Like, for example, I use my cold email approach. I search for, because I work in a specific niche, like for startups from the crypto industry, I basically look for them on a couple of different business directories. I've explained that in one of my previous videos, basically in a couple of my previous videos, where I show you guys how I look for new companies listed on AngelList or Crunchbase or portals like that. And I find out who their CEO is or who the decision maker is in that company. I find their email, and I get in touch with them. I send them an email showcasing my work, and basically telling them that if there's an opportunity that they can see where we can work together, they should get back in touch with me, and we can talk about more. We can talk more about the project and basically how to get started and what the needs are and all of that kind of stuff. So that's the way I use. You can also use cold calling. You can find companies that are probably looking for work that you do. You can check out some maybe local startup incubators or stuff like that. They are always looking for creative work or for programming work or stuff like that, because they're developing their products. There are startups. They basically need creative people. So that's another good idea. So if you have an option, maybe in your city or in a city near you, there are these startup meetings or stuff like that. You can always go there, usually there for free, where you can network with other people and tell them what you do, and basically get connected and maybe start working on some awesome projects. That's another way that you can tackle this problem. There are also a lot of online directories where you can look for startups from a specific niche. You can just Google them And the thing here is that if you Google companies, you usually won't find the contact of the decision maker there directly. So what you can do is just go to LinkedIn, type in the name of the company, check out their page, see who their employees are, and usually you will find like their CEO or their CTO or CMO, like Chief Marketing Officer or Recruitment Officer, and you can talk to them. So LinkedIn is also a great approach to basically find potential new clients. The difference between my approach and all of these approaches versus LinkedIn and Upwork, versus Freelancer and Upwork is that people usually find Freelancer and Upwork much easier because the projects are already listed there. You just put a bid on the projects, maybe write a cover letter, and you have a small chance of getting that project. So it requires a lot less effort than finding projects on your own, contacting all of these people. And that's why I think that a lot of people are attracted to Freelancer and Upwork and portals like this. But the thing is that if you're serious about your freelance career and you actually want to make a good living off of it and support yourself or maybe your family long term, it really doesn't make any sense. You really have to put in some effort to get your first projects going, and through time you will see that the more you send out emails, the more you look for companies on your own, the easier it becomes. Like, so for example, when I was starting out, it took me like 3 days to maybe find 40 or 50 potential companies and contacts of people to get in touch with. Now I basically can do that in 1 day. For example, now in 1 day I can find 50 contacts of people and cold email them or get in touch with them through LinkedIn messaging or some other way to showcase my work and basically maybe get a project. So it becomes much easier. It's a bit of a learning curve. I mean, you have to. I explained that in a couple of my previous videos. So if you want to see my exact process of how I do that, feel free to check out my videos. I also have a course on this in the description below. You can also check that out. But the thing is that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So I'm at a stage now where I don't really even consider going to Freelancer or Upwork or bidding on a project for a really cheap price. Because for me, it just doesn't make sense going to Freelancer or to Upwork and bidding $100 on a project that will take me 2 weeks to complete. It just doesn't make sense because I can spend a bit more time to really narrow down my target audience and get in touch with a couple of potential clients where I can get a project that will last for the whole year and or at least a couple of months, and I'll be getting paid on a monthly retainer or any kind of that stuff depending on the project specifics, and I will make a lot more money. I will build a much better business relationship, and the client will be happy with my work. I'll be happy with the amount of money I got paid, and life is just so much easier, and I also can support myself much better with these kinds of projects. So that's the way I do it. I really hope you guys just give it a try, or if you've tried any other kinds of methods than Freelancer and Upwork, really, I would really appreciate it if you would comment in the comment section below. Let me know let me know what your experiences would like, and let me know what your experience was like. Have you tried sending out any cold emails? Have you tried contacting somebody through LinkedIn, or maybe any kind of methods of finding clients online? I would really appreciate it if you would let me know, so I can also learn from you guys and maybe give you some advice back. So that would really be awesome. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Working on Freelancer and Upwork for me personally sucks. Maybe there are some people who disagree and are successful with it, but I think I have a real feeling that most of the freelancers out there, even those who are working on Freelancer and Upwork, are not happy with the amount of money they're getting paid, with all the cheap prices and all of that kind of stuff. So, but fortunately, there are other ways out there how we can get projects online and have a basically a successful freelance career. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you found it helpful, feel free to subscribe to my channel or give me a like, or share my content if you think somebody else might benefit from it. And that's it, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.